portrait guy, illustrator, and I learned a lot from him, from his stuff. And I met him because I was teaching up at the Academy of Art in San Francisco, and he was too. And so I was like, I was a total, hey, would you like to have a coffee or something? Because and so we had coffee together, and then he died. He died like at 50 something of cancer. And I was
Uh,
so, yeah, and he was such a great teacher, such a great teacher. He taught me, what's that? Yeah, he taught me the planes, the rhythms, taught me about spacing and placing the elements, about average angle, trying to get an average of everything, how to squint and compare, uh, how to design your shapes, how to find, go from 2D, separate the lights from the darks, and find your design, and then pull 3D architecture out of the stuff and make it, you know, look like a form,
Oh wow, this whole time they're not hearing me. I'm talking to you this whole time, but they're not hearing me because I forgot to turn my microphone on. But that's okay though, because I was mostly asking questions
It's too much
anyway,
yeah.
food.
so it's
That
not a big
street food
deal.
in China will mess you up.
I'm sorry guys, I've been talking this whole time. I've been answering your questions. I've been answering every single uh, commenter's questions. I just forgot to turn the thing on. Hey guys,
So
I gotta repeat what I said earlier a little bit. The guy who is joining with me right now, he is a professional. Would you call yourself an animator? Because artist is too broader. Right now, would you call
I
yourself?
don't animate it anymore.
Yeah, but he was a professional animator. He worked
Yeah.
on Lord of the Rings, the game. There's a whole bunch of stuff that I just don't like. I don't want to repeat stuff. Some that sounds wrong, but he has about how long of experience do you have right now? Like
Like
roughly.
25 years, I think.
Yeah, 50 years of experience, guys. 50 years of
So
experience.
you have 50. Oh man, I didn't know
25
that.
years. 25 years.
45?
25, 25.
Oh, 25. Gotcha.
And he went to China. He learned traditional art. He learned conceptual art. He's proficient at both. A there's animation art, which is rhythmic art, which is slightly different from something that just look realistic, which is more of a renderer. You just kind of rendering something, and and he saw my join with one of my streams with Dion a while back, and he shot me a message and say, you know, can do you would you
I said,
guys
you know the nasal labial fold? And he said, yes. And I said, okay, this guy's cool.
yeah, pretty much, pretty much. He's like, can I draw with you guys? I'm like, what do you got?
God,
Then he shot me his Instagram page. I'm like, okay, fine. Fine.
yeah.
You're that
So-
good, fine. It's all good.
I was following you for, some years, I think. And I was like, gosh, this guy's like building, he's growing, he's just doing these really nice portraits. And
Yeah, but I was doing stuff that's mostly also very social media oriented, so on, and it is what it is. Yeah, right. Yeah,
well, you're smart,
it's just. I mean, if I wanted to, like, I just like if I want to make a video that has a lot of views, I would make like a really photorealistic one. But it's like, I don't want to spend 10 hours on that. Not really, Like we both just finished the drawing like in what 15 minutes. Like you did the other drawing and I did this drawing, which we were just talking and just hanging out and just drawing whatever we want to draw.
Yeah. Because that's what life's all about.
Yeah. He was talking. Yeah, we were talking a little bit. Oh man, now I said so many stuff. Now I can't even remember exactly what I said, but nothing Nothing what I said is not important anyway for this section. So it was just your story. So you were we ended at the guy who unfortunately passed away at 50 from cancer, and
Yeah. And then there was who else was there? There was Steve Houston.
yeah, I know Steve Houston. He's awesome.
He's totally awesome. What a great teacher. These great teachers just
His movement and muscle like yeah, he's
yeah. Like the way that they explain it and talk about it, and you just go, man, I love learning. I'd like to be able to know it like they do so I could teach it to others, you know.
yeah.
And you have to have some story. Someone said, if you want to learn something, you have to relate it to everything and relate everything to it. And I thought that's brilliant, you know. And that was a guy commentator on fighting, and he was breaking down fights and stuff. He goes, you know, you just got to relate this thing to everything you know about, and relate everything you know about to it, and try to understand it from a global point of view, you know.
Right. Well, martial arts is a form of You might be one of the Gracie brothers. I don't know. I forgot. One of the jiu-jitsu guys, but yeah.
And so, you know, like, why do we do this in the first place? Well, because it's about the story we're trying to tell. Are we trying to say anything? What are we trying to say? It's not about the drawing. It's about what the drawing says, you know.
That reminds me of another quote that's you know, it's very short, but it's true. It's like, as an artist, if you draw something, what you put on paper, what you choose to leave out is almost as important as what you put on paper, especially if you're doing observational art or whatever. Because there's too many people nowadays that can't just put everything on paper. So it's like, all right, you're a human camera, that's great, but you're not showing me what your personal side, like what are you choosing to emphasize, and what you choose to, you know, deem not as important.
Right.
But and then they just draw everything they see, and it's like, okay, great, I have a camera that does the same and it does better, so yeah.
Yeah, that's funny that you say that, because if you just look at the drawing now, Chris's drawing, you see the nose and the ear is all the shapes are a little more exaggerated. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm not sure how to explain it, but that's when you see how to make the shapes and the forms.
Are you saying Chris draws like caricature?
No, not like that. But
it is.
It could be. It could be.
It's
no,
part of
caricature artists are great because they have to.
Yeah,
they have to. It's not easy. Yeah.
But if you exaggerate just a little bit more, it becomes a caricature.
Yeah. It's like exactly what you leave in, what you leave out, you know, what you emphasize. Like this drawing had a great, you know, it was like it went this way and then it went that way. And so I'm playing with these changes of direction, like these breaks.
Right, so it's a gesture you're building on, instead of just photocopying the photo.
Yeah, I'm taking straight lines and I'm straightening them out, and I'm taking curved lines and taking the average and flattening it out, and it has more graphic impacts on the page, you know?
Yeah, well, exactly. That was what I was trying to say, but you know how to put it in words.
Do you know of well, not Disney animator, because he does animation for everything. Nathan Fox. He made a
another great teacher. Love that guy.
Yeah. He I love his course on composition and stuff like that.
Did you take it?
Yeah, I mean, I there's books and there's videos online. There's other stuff, but it's you know it's very easy, the way he puts it. But
I
it
bought
works.
his book.
You got it.
Yeah.
You have his book, yeah.
Or
I have
one
his
of his
portrait
books.
book like from like years and years
That's
ago.
the one I
but-
have.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
he
I haven't looked at it hardly though, but
no, but his main job is working for you know, like animation companies, and he's doing coloring. His main job is coloring, composition, and just
yeah,
conceptual design in general, overall, and how to use color and composition to achieve the kind of mood and whatever he wants to achieve. Right, that's his job. And he wrote a book, and he made a course on it. He has a book on it, and it's great. You know.
yeah, it's pretty good.
He's on that that site with Digital Dolbert. Remember, you know Dolbert?
Digital Dolbert. Which
And he's got an education site called, I forget what it's called. And he's, no, his name escapes me.
there's a lot
Alright.
of there's a lot of decent sites. Like I'm sure there's gonna be a lot more, but yeah.
Would you happen to know the site Drawing Tutorials Online? That guy Matthew
Yeah,
teaches there. You know that guy?
I mean, I know of him. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I joined his site for a year or something. And his style just reminds me of your style a little bit.
Yeah, he's good. He's good. I like that guy, you know.
Yeah, he's nice.
He's out there doing his thing, you know.
Yeah, and he teaches in New York in
Really?
the
Where?
Art Academy,
Ah, okay.
and he often goes to the Met to draw.
Well, that part's kind of gay, but okay.
Because
Just kidding. I'm kidding. Matt, I love you.
uh,
If I had a pet, I'd go to the Met. So we got out here. We got a bunch of homeless around the museum in the city, so it's a little scary.
Oh yeah, where I've got to or maybe I asked you once before, but I forgot. Where do you live right now?
Yeah, I'm like 20 minutes outside of San Francisco.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, California is going like
going
what's going
down.
on, what's going on over there? Like what's going on over there? You guys have like so many. Feels like.
We get bad leadership. We have this
Uh,
very liberal kind of deal, and like logic.
it's too
escapes
if it's liberal if it's too rigid, like I don't know. Yeah, I feel like that could be it's the thing.
Yeah, it's like rigid.
Yeah, I hear you guys have a huge like homeless problem over there. Like,
Yeah, it's like shocking. You know, I grew up here, so I'm like, what the hell happened to my city? You know.
yeah.
Oh, so you actually
Yeah.
saw it transform like in front
Horrified. I'm embarrassed. You know.
yeah.
Like my
Well,
wife comes from China, and she's like, I didn't think America was so poor and so, you know what? I'm like, yeah, well, you missed the good part.
Well, over here
Yeah.
it's still good for now, like where I am. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, let's go to a happier topic. Like,
Okay.
Um,
Well, I can
I
give my
should-
I can give
I
my
have
joy.
to-
I can give my guy a smile, but his eye is not really smiling. So this will be like a sinister smile. You know.
hey, your drawing looked good.
Huh?
I like your drawing.
Yeah, but
Well,
your profile is like way faster, and this is the ink pen, so I'm like, can't catch up. Can't catch up.
we'll talk to you guys later. I have to I have to head out.
Okay, nice
So,
talk.
Yeah, nice meeting you, Chris. Yeah, good
Yeah, Nick, you know, I can fit 4 streams on screen. So one day, if we want to embarrass ourselves, we can do 4 stream ones with Chris.
Yeah. I'm really looking forward to that.
Yeah. What are you using? I assume you have a webcam, Chris.
Yeah, I'm using a webcam. Right.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I'm
I'm telling you to get a webcam because Chris had a super high def end camera that didn't work out well, and he ended up using a webcam, Logitech webcam.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I've been using my phone.
And it's cheaper, so yeah.
Is that it? Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know. It sucks. Yeah, to try to figure out something, I guess, like try to find a used one or something, because I ordered whatever, got all screwed up, so
Yeah.
it's just not. Yeah. But
So you still don't have your webcam, Noah?
I don't know. So I'm gonna have to go on. I'm just gonna have to get a used one.
That's
I'm not-
terrible.
Like,
Terrible.
yeah, what you were saying, Xiaonan, like go with Prime or whatever instead of going. Like, I'm never comfortable going through like third-party sellers unless I know they're good.
Well, I have a spare one, but you'll have to come
Well,
and
send
get
it over here, damn it.
Where?
Just come,
He'll pay
just
you.
come and get it. We can hang out, have a beer, and you can get my.
I'll
You
roll
know,
my boat over there.
if Alex was still flying over there, all thing, he can probably like bring one
He
back.
would do
or
it.
something. Yeah, he can do it. He'll mail
Well,
it to you. He can bring it back.
he's been here twice, so.
But he's not going to go there anymore because I think that project is done.
Yeah,
So-
which is a shame.
Who's been over there twice?
Alex?
Oh, Alex.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he
I've
yeah.
seen you.
He was telling me crazy stories about Dion, but I'm not gonna share because it's too embarrassing on screen. Obviously, I'm just kidding. Dion.
Just send pictures.
Well, I
I'm just
remember
kidding.
him loving the food here.
Oh yeah, he was talking about the food.
Yeah.
All right, I think I'm gonna switch to the next join because otherwise I'll be falling too behind.
Okay. All right. It's good talking to you guys. We'll talk to you all later.
All
Okay,
right,
take.
Later, Noah.
Yup.
later.
We'll see ya.
Okay.
Bye.
Grab another pen.
Troezel, hi from the Netherlands. Ik kom ook uit Nederland. Hoi.
Where's my can't find my tape. Oh well.
So when I was working in animation,
Yeah.
some really talented people, and one of them was this guy named Robert Valley,
I would imagine. Yeah.
and he, oh my God, it was just like, he was like a walking, genius. And so I just got to sort of,
What was his job? Main job.
he was an animator,
Okay.
yeah. And so he's made some movies and stuff. It's out there. But so I would ask him, well, how did you do this? Or how did you get that?
Mm-hmm.
Because he would do these charcoal drawings when we would do figure drawing sessions.
Yeah.
And they were just like you couldn't even, like, they were perfect, kind of. But they were at the
Perfect. Okay.
side of a piece of charcoal and just hit it, boom, and you'd have like the core shadow reflected light.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, what? And he taught me how to shape my tool.
Interesting.
So you get these things, they just unlock little secrets along the way, and you just get better little by little.
Cool.
Yeah. So there were some really, talented people that I got to be around.
Yeah, I think that definitely, help your art into the way it is today. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, kind of pushes you.
All right, guys, I'm gonna try yet another style. Okay, so give me a break if I fuck up anything. I fuck up anything. It's on YouTube. I gotta be careful what I say.
Feel free to mess up. That's what we should
Well,
do.
feel free to mess up with art, but with language, with YouTube these days, you just gotta be super careful with everything. It's kind of annoying, but it is what it is.
Yeah, okay. But I mean, for drawing, let's.
Yeah, but join if you do
Oh,
not be
yeah.
afraid of mistakes. That's what I always tell everybody anyway. So yeah.
Yeah. You just got to do 50 heads, and just not all of them are going to be great.
We already. How many heads did we draw on stream together? 2, right?
I mean, today.
I mean, right, this session.
It's got to be like 3 or 4.
4 or 5, I guess.
No, I only draw 2. You drew before we streamed, so you drew more probably. Yeah.
Yeah, since the stream, about 4.
Okay. I mean, I can do a faster one, but I kind of like some detail here and there. So what happened then? And then, where did you move on from there after you?
I came back from China, and I was like, man, I'm almost turned Chinese. I learned how to speak Chinese, and
how well is your Mandarin? The last time I asked you that when we were speaking privately on Skype, but you never like spoke, like you never showed me your true power in Chinese.
Believe me, it is powerful.
it is too powerful. This stream cannot handle it.
Like, 你好, 谢谢.
Hey,
That's about it.
That's pretty good.
That's how it starts, man.
Yeah.
Get addicted to it. I was addicted to Chinese, like chili sauce.
It's that good. Right.
I had to remap.
Wait, you can read Chinese?
Hmm.
Wow.
I
Like,
had
if I didn't already know Chinese, I would never learn Chinese just because I know how hard it is. It'd be like,
Yeah, you have to have a real motivation to do it. And I felt like I wasn't going to survive in Shanghai unless I.
Yeah, especially back nowadays. I think you can with English, but back in the day, yeah.
There was just nobody speaking English.
Exactly.
Man. Everybody's too shy anyway. So
nowadays, it's like a whole different thing. Yeah.
Well, that's good. So I think my Chinese, maybe it was better before, and now it's just.
Do you speak Chinese at home with your wife, or do you speak like
Well,
English or mix?
Chinese. She won't speak Chinese to me.
Okay.
So we just speak English.
So you don't get any practice anymore.
No.
So maybe I should just speak only Chinese to you on stream, and leave everybody else just bewildered and confused.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't have a clue.
That seems like a way to go.
We could talk about the nasal labial fold and no.
In Chinese.
Oh man, you know what? I left China when I was 11, so I don't think my vocabulary will cover that quite yet.
Yeah, so my Chinese is pretty.
So basically, right now, if you were to, let's say, go to a Chinese village where nobody there speaks English, you'll be able to survive, basically.
Yeah, I could survive. Yeah.
Okay, that's pretty good.
I'd say 卫生间在哪里？哪里？我要四季豆和。
Oh my god, stop insulting my viewers, come on. I'm just kidding, guys, that's not what he said.
What did he say, Xiaonan?
What?
What did he say?
The viewers were beautiful.
Yeah, he's complimenting on my viewers.
Ah,
okay.
Nice. Yeah, that's what you say now.
That's what I say now. Until my stream gets
turned off.
Anything. And I'll tell you what he really said.
你的朋友们是非常好人。
谢谢，多谢了。
谢谢，你好。
He was complimenting you, Dion. He was complimenting
I'm
you.
sorry. Yeah. Well, you too, Chris.
I was thanking him on your behalf, So now you should thank me for thanking him.
谢谢Xiaonan. Was that okay?
That was good.
Oh, thank you.
So what's like to work at a like one of those more official and more structured environment where you had to make like a conceptual art for a game and like how you said you worked on Star Wars, you worked on Lord of the Rings, the games. What is the workflow like? Is that stressful? Is there like crazy deadlines? How
Yeah,
you know?
crazy deadlines, stressful, and then times of, when you're working in a company, it's actually, you get to take, you take lunch, you can go to the gym. So it's a little less fast paced, but then there's those times when you just have to like make the deadline and then you're working all the time on the weekend, crazy stuff like that. So it's
Right.
chill, but then it's like, oh my God, we have to finish these deadlines and it's stressful. And you always have these line producers coming back with their schedules. So when are you going to have that, orc ready?
Yeah. And this was before you were working in digital art, or you are working with digital art?
Okay,
Which
so on the Lord of the Rings, we had drawing table and we worked in pencil. And we could scan things into they had a computer there that we could add color to. But okay, so there was a hybrid type of situation there. And then when we went to The Godfather, it was all digital. So that was like
so
2004.
oh, okay, so it's The Godfather. Well, that's I didn't know they made a game. They made something out of that, but that's cool. I would imagine these would be way much easier to do changes they needed and then wanted and so on. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
way easier.
totally. Totally. So yeah, it was cool because I do kind of miss the studio kind of thing.
Yeah.
You're with people and you're working on something.
You
You know,
collaborating with people. Yeah.
and that's kind of fun, you know.
How long you been doing that for? Like roughly like 20 years, like 30 years.
Like I started working sometime around 1995 was
Wow.
my first animation job. Like I said, I got
Okay.
that work at Colossal.
15. That's 35 years. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's quite a bit.
And
Quite a bit of experience.
so,
You still keep? Do you still keep in touch with anybody from that era, from that
yeah,
part of it? Like,
mm-hmm.
what are
Some guy
those
just
guys up
called
to?
me.
Like, what is are they doing the same thing, or what are they doing these days?
One guy was working up on the Star Wars TV stuff. It's like
Oh,
an animated thing.
right,
This
right.
guy,
There's a few of
and
them. Yeah.
he's doing storyboard, right? And then they changed over to digital storyboards or 3D so that you're kind of blocking things in with 3D.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
He called me because he got laid off and he said, don't you have like a
That's
YouTube channel? Can you show me how to do some of that stuff? So uh, I kind of, yeah, you know, so he put
yeah.
out
I
his
mean,
video.
there's a lot of opportunity on YouTube, but it's just like it's a very different thing. It's a very different environment to be successful here versus like I don't want to use the word real world, but it's like versus making actual and companies and actual. It's very different. Like there are people that wouldn't even get like 10 feet near the door over there, but there will be getting like 5 million views on YouTube and so on. So it's
Right.
just very different. So
Yeah.
you got to play the game. You know what I mean? That's what I say. Like don't blame the player. Blame the game. I mean, don't blame anybody. Just play the game. Just if you want to, if you really want to. I mean, otherwise that's good. Like yeah, the world's changing fast, very
Right.
fast.
So what do you think? Where do you think this is going to go? Like in the next 9 months, as far as
What I'm thinking it's gonna go. Any what specific area are you thinking about of asking about?
well, I guess online education, Uh, the economy is kind of a
Well,
bigger
yeah, we can
question.
talk. Well, I do have a business degree, so I can talk about that. But where are we gonna go? Let's get the crap stuff out of the way. Economy is gonna be horrible, horrible. Um,
Yeah,
and you know, a lot of people, especially, which is sucks part, especially the lower income people, they're the ones who are actually gonna suffer the most. Um, just don't use that word. Then YouTube will ban this video or whatever. Just the word of that disease. But and the problem is most of these people, they're working like at grocery stores, checkout lines, drivers, etc. They're deliveries and so on. They're doing the essential jobs, so they can't even quit, right? And also they need the money anyway. So like post office workers and so on. We it's gonna and also right now, don't you guys like, there's this weird thing that's going on. Some people might notice, some people who know finance might notice this, because we have a situation where everything else is going down the toilet, and the businesses are grinding to a halt. People are losing their jobs now. Where unemployment rate was like 16% this morning, but it might be higher now. I don't know. Once it gets to 20, it gets really crazy. But yet at the same time, if you look at all the stock markets and all the indexes, they're not doing that bad, which is a very, I don't want to use the word sinister, but which is not really a good thing at all, because
well, it's totally fake.
because this gives, it's fake, and it gives the people who have money, which most people who have the value in stock market, over 90% of them are the people who are rich. They have opportunity to get the money out.
Yeah.
They can, and then once they get their money out, they don't give a shit. And then stuff's gonna go crumble to the ground, and then what's left over in there? It's just people's 401ks. Mom and pop for like what stuff they put in 401k for 20 years. It's just gonna devalue like nothing. It's gonna go bad in that sense, but let's talk about something a little bit more positive, which is, in terms of education. This is actually going to push education a step forward, because United States is still using the education system that is, it's based on a very old system, like a Henry Ford made conveyor belt. It's just a very old, inefficient system of making education. Nobody likes it. Everybody hates it. It just feels like somebody's got to do it. The learning efficiency is extremely low. And this thing about opening the internet up, and suddenly everybody start to be able to say, hey, I can start learning stuff that I want to learn, and just be doing things that I'm good at, that I like to learn, which will also increase productivity in the long run. We will see some benefit of that. Soon we don't destroy ourselves in the meantime. But this is also going to, even if things go back to normal. Let's say magically we develop some kind of crazy vaccine that would solve this problem. There's a lot of conditioning that's already taking place that's going to forever change the way people behave. There's going to be a lot of home delivery, for example. That sector of the business, it's going to go up. Online education is going to go up. Video games is going to go up a lot. Virtual reality, which then links to, of course, games and XXX and conference, entertainment. All that, it's going to go up. It's going to basically pushing the company to basically light a fire on their ass, and they're going to. That's going to. I don't know what kind of effect that's going to have, but I don't think those are going to be negative necessarily. But then it's the short term and mid term. That's most worrisome. That's just most worrisome.
Yeah.
And
there's this.
no, I was just gonna say one last thing, and this one is actually a relatively benign, harmless one we got that can serve as a warning bell. Because if you look at South Korea, their their handling, of course, given their population, they can do a lot of things that we can't, but that's not our fault. But their handling of this situation, it is so much better because they had a similar issue. I forgot what the name of the virus, not a few years back. And so they learned that lesson. So when this virus was coming down, they knew exactly what to do. They had testing, they had tracing, they have everything in place. You notice how South Korea doesn't close any of its business down, doesn't need to do any of that, and their infection and mortality rate went to like a straight line. You went to like a freaking straight line. You know, so
Yeah.
yeah, it's United States for what it is. It's like it's so ill prepared for something like this. Like how are you the most advanced, most resourceful country in the world, and you cannot give people like tests? I don't know, you know.
I felt like they really let us down as far as testing and being, ready.
Yeah. They and it's the thing is, yeah.
I mean, you and me were probably watching this because we lived in China, and we're watching it. We're looking at it going, wow, that looks really bad, really scary. And if you and me knew about it, why the hell wouldn't the government go, look, let's get our masks, let's get our testing, and we're just going to be like ready for our people.
Yeah, they should. I mean, I don't necessarily right now. I don't necessarily even myself don't trust all the data from China, but I trust data from like Japan and South Korea and so on, and they're doing way better. Almost every first world nation is just doing way better. I just you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's unfortunate. Like
there's just
it's
way.
unfortunate.
The United States has way too crazy of income disparity. I think that's also part of the problem too. You know. Gotta sharpen my pencil, guys. Careful for the noise.
Meanwhile, Chris, you're making a caricature out of a caricature. That's cool. Nice.
Ooh. So there's a lot of stock moves that you learn. Like you learn these stock moves, and that's kind of like how you get better.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, can you give some?
Like when I'm warming up and I'm just doing simple stuff, I use those marks. Like this eyelid is just like it's like this, you know.
You practice those moves.
Yeah, and you got this, and you got that.
It's a flow of the lines and the shapes.
Yeah. Oh wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Things that you do over and over, and they're stock moves. Then you don't really think about it anymore. It's in your muscle memory.
Yeah. But you have to be so precise because you're doing the move, but it has to be in the exact right spot, right?
Yeah. Right.
Well, yeah.
But it's not a hard move. It's a pretty simple move. You just have to know, oh, that's the move. Now I have to do it, 500 times.
Yeah.
And now I got it.
So you would advise anybody to do that every day, do that stock move 500 times over and over?
Right here, it's just like these two curves, right? It's like that's a thing you're going to see everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It's like an eyelid. It's like a lip.
Yeah.
It's like a piece of paper that you twist and you see the bottom part that's dark and the top part that's getting light.
Yeah.
Well, that thing, you're going to just it's the side of a nose, it's that nose, the wing of the nose, it's the lip, it's the ear, and then you go, okay, I got that one. When I see an eye, I just do that, or I see a rib. Ribs are like this because they curve around to the back side,
Yeah.
What else? Just simple stuff like this head is like this plus,
Yep.
something like that. And with a center line.
Yeah.
And you start to see those things and you just, bam. I warm up with these, simple arcs. or simple S curves or C curves.
And also, you notice how the way we both hold the pencil similarly. Like people say that I'm holding the pencil wrong. Like no, like I'm holding the pencil like, 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 in the most in the correct way. Like everybody else hold the pencil wrong. Almost like if people hold the pencil like that, or like I don't know how they do it. I don't even know how that works. It's just like, no, this is how you hold the pencil. Like if you watch us, like, you notice how similar we hold the pencil. Like, and it's not planned. It's part of the education, right? You just that's part of, and nobody learns that. I don't think they teach you how to hold a pencil in the United States, because that's not a thing. That's just But I remember when I was young, they teach you how to hold a pencil, so you can,
No, that would be offensive, and you might hurt somebody's feelings or culture if you told them.
Oh God, yeah. I mean, there's right now things are getting a little. I mean, especially for somebody like you who has gone through the ages and seeing like the world change literally before your eyes, which 50, 30 years is a long time, on the scale. Like before 30 years, there was no internet, right? So you see a lot of changes happening. And so you have a different feel towards those changes than what most people would have, especially like the the millennials and so on.
Yeah.
The.
That's right. Yeah. I mean, I suppose that's what happens when you start getting older.
And yeah, you get a sense of these things.
And you just see it. But I guess every generation
feels the same, but I think that change is faster and faster because technology builds on top of itself and it's changing exponentially. So, so our children and our grandchildren will see more change than we have experienced, which is kind of crazy because we're already seeing enough change. But they probably have like nanotechnology and God knows what else going on, genetic editing and so on. That's just part of their life. Yeah, it's just part of they are. And to us, it'd be like, what the hell? What's going on here? So yeah. My girl's like very like she's looking at your guy. She's very like she does not like him right now. Look at this drawing. She's like, "Argh." She's like, I'm going
and
after him.
He just looks away like whatever.
He's like, if I don't look at her directly in the eye, maybe she won't charge at me.
What?
I'm talking about the drawing. I'm like
the drawing
that I'm drawing
on stream.
On the stream. I'm
You're
like
scared.
my drawing is like angry at your drawing, so it's ready to charge. See
Oh,
that?
We're having a drop. Maybe she wants to really meet the guy.
Yeah, probably.
Maybe you just have to get to know him. Come on. She's so
He has such
judgmental.
an
You know what?
interesting mustache.
He's like, get away from me. Aggressive chicks, I don't like them.
All right, let me do a more friendly drawing so everybody feel better.
So Chris, I noticed your lines. You keep them very clean. What do you do when you discover you want a line in a different place? Do you just leave it there, or?
If I draw lightly, I leave it there, and it becomes part of the drawing, which I like. I like to see the thing built up. You can see it over a sequence of time, even though it's a still image. It still has the movements and history. Okay. And so if I draw light and I just draw like this part's light, then I might just reestablish it, or I might move it. But if I like it, I'll draw darker on there.
Right, so it's building up the lines. But I notice sometimes when I want to establish more of a thicker line, I lose the crispness of it.
Oh.
Well,
You know what I mean?
Well, with experience, you don't have to do that as often. You just, you just make one line, and it's usually correct.
Yeah, exactly. If you leave it like one line, it has some crispness to it, right? But if you go over it over and over, then it loses the freshness of it.
Yeah.
Well, keep it sharp, and then really be intense in like your intention. Be intentional about really putting it on the tip, you know, and moving it, rotating it. Like I'm rotating the pencil too, and
Right.
because
Yeah.
it down, I rotate, wears down, rotate, then I sharpen again.
Right.
It keeps it kind of, that helps, you know. Is that kind of part of what you mean?
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's a way to keep the line fresh. But if you have to go over it again and again, then it becomes, well, thicker, I guess. And if you go just a little bit astray from the original line, it becomes a little bit messy. At least when I tried to do that.
My drawings are, I mean, drawing is a process of fixing mistakes for me. I never get it right the first time. It's always a process, like, so that's why you draw lightly, that you're blocking, because you have to find the drawing, find where things go. And so it allows for those human sort of things.
It's kind of like you know, like Cassie's method or whatever. You just kind of you start out with like a mist, almost like what I would say is almost like you have a blurred vision, and then you slowly bring into clarity.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I started using that method. Just work from a mist and work it down to more and more detail. But I see Chris using more of, he goes with the lines, and then it's sort of the other way around, but not quite.
I have multiple ways of coming at the drawing. And so depending on the drawing, depending on the tool, or what I see, I go with what I know. So what jumps out at me, that's what I start with. So it might be a mist, or it might be some lines, or it might be a combination, you know?
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. So it's different methods.
Right.
And your style, like that particular wine, is reminiscent of. It reminds me of like kind of Disney cartoon-ish, you know, kind of style. Like a bad guy from like Aladdin, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, so this comes from the animation that I did. You had to cop a lot of people's styles that were already established, right?
Well, there's nothing new under the sun, so.
And so I had to do a lot of cartooning, which I wasn't into. I was into realism. And so it made me have this vocabulary, you know?
Yeah, and obviously you're very familiar and with that style, and you feel
it's fun.
Yeah, and you feel comfortable with that style, and then it becomes easier, I guess.
I like to be able to back off realism and go stylized, but then the realism enhances my stylized characters because I know where to put the lines, I know where the planes are, so I can use that to make my stylized stuff look more strong. You know?
Especially as an animator, and as somebody who's involved in like multiple projects in gaming industry, you have to know the planes because they have to use 3D animation to build it, you know? So if you draw something that's off, that makes no sense. That's like a paradoxical plane. Then they're like, okay, what are we gonna do with this? Like, you know. Yeah. So the lighting, the planes, the shape, the form is more important than details. Sometimes, often in those cases.
Yeah. Great.
I always tell people that, but like.
But in essence, you're both styles benefit from each other. I guess so. The realism and the stylized.
Yeah, that's the big argument through the ages. Is the best drawing a reproduction of what you see, or a stylization of what you see? You know, that's been argued for centuries. I think.
That's it's a stupid argument because it's a gradient like everything else. There's nowhere you can draw a line and say that's where correct thing is. It's a combination. It's always had to be a combination of both. So and then it's up to individual. It's like asking individual like which type of art they like the best. It's like
Yeah, but because
Why
in
argue?
realism there really is no line ever. It's always a perceived line when two values meet, and then you perceive it as a line. While
Right.
in this style, the stylized, you use
Yeah.
line very much to describe the form. So it's
Yeah, it's different. It's what your goal is. What
Yeah.
your goal. But
What's your goal, baby?
exactly.
You gotta
the
go.
line can be very powerful.
The line everywhere. It is.
Yeah.
Exactly. But to people who understand it, yes. But to the general population, something that looks more realistic is much more enticing and attractive. That's just the way it is right now. Just. But once they understand a little bit more about it, they get it.
But people really like cartoons, and those aren't real.
They do, but I'm not saying I don't like cartoons, but I'm saying relatively speaking, let's say somebody drew like a hyper realistic drawing, and then you drew that, and then I put those two videos on YouTube under the same tags or whatever, or similar tags or whatever. That other video is gonna get a lot more viewers than this. Because they're like, because that one is further away from a stick figure, right? So, before people understand art to a certain degree, so your average non-art person, right? Not that it's bad or anything, just that. So your average non-art person, they're like, okay, I can barely draw a stick figure, and this thing looks photorealistic. It's like to them that's like the pinnacle of drawing.
Yeah.
But once you understand it, you're like, okay, that's actually just one small part of a beginning of
Yeah,
learning.
well, actually, this is going beyond the hyper realistic style.
No. What he's doing
Uh,
is more difficult and requires more skill than that. But unless you explain that to people or people in the know, they wouldn't know that. They wouldn't know that. 'Cause
exactly.
It's a cartoon.
Yeah.
It's a cartoon. Of course, it's easier than photorealism.
But I think
Right?
people respond to the truth in a drawing.
They
So whether
do.
it's stylized or real, they respond to something beyond,
But here's the thing. We have how many people on the internet? They spend roughly around 10 seconds to 20. Actually, it's like 5, but we'll say 10 on something they see before they jump to the next thing they see. So, even a small percentage of people that recognize that, vast majority will recognize the other way. And right now, it's not about quality, it's about quantity. So, it's all about quantity of eyeballs on your stuff. At least if you are looking at the social media route. So that's
you take people like like Loish. Loish, she does those girls, those characters.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Okay. Yeah.
People totally go for that, right? 'Cause
Exactly.
there's
That's what I'm saying. And that stuff is not difficult. I mean it's difficult. I mean, relatively speaking, it's not difficult compared to the stuff that we can already do. So
You're kind of editing out a lot. That's difficult. These design choices and difficult.
This drawing is amazing, Chris. It's wonderful.
Thanks.
Yeah, it really is. So nice. But guys, I really have to go work tomorrow, and
Ooh.
it's kind of late. So
Doesn't your government give you a stimulus check?
yeah, well,
They do?
I don't think they will be happy tomorrow then with me. So I'm really looking forward to drawing along with you guys
Okay.
next time. Maybe
Yeah.
this weekend or something.
What's today?
We'll
Tu-
we'll have to get together.
Tuesday. Today's Tuesday. Okay.
It's Tuesday. Yeah. Okay.
Good.
Yeah. Bye, guys. See
Take
you
care.
later.
Later, Dion.
Bye bye.
That was nice.
Yeah. I mean, he's getting, it's getting better and better, and he's starting to understand more and more about
Oh, you're on to a new one. That's good.
how many joints are you on. I think you beat me by like you beat me by on the stream. Since stream started, you definitely beating me by like a joint or two. Not
Yeah.
that it's a competition or anything, but we have both joystick figures, just like who can draw the most. No, it's not
Yeah.
it's not about the quantity.
We should switch over to like highly symbolic.
I might do that next, like, cause I've been doing a bunch of line ones. I did my first one was more, well, let's see.
Yours are pretty intensive.
Yeah, my first one was more of like just kind of a warming up with charcoal. This one is just warming up with charcoal, cause I haven't been using charcoal for a long time.
Yeah.
This guy is kind of crazy. Wow, he doesn't even have eyes. I mean, he does, but it's. And then this one is slightly different. It's line drawing.
Yeah.
And then this one just angrily staring at Chris's drawing, because she doesn't want to make the time to get to know his person, the character in his drawing. And now I'm gonna do a different style. Well, similar style to my second one, but next one maybe I'll do something different. I don't know.
Okay.
This is all freestyle, guys. We just drawing whatever we want to draw. So
We're doing. Can you talk about that 50 heads drawing challenge again? I'm doing.
oh
a 50 head
yeah. So
drawing.
yeah, you gotta fill me in on the names because sometimes I forget the names. But Chris here started a 50 heads challenge. No. We're not talking about homicide here. We're talking about drawing 50 heads, and we're gonna draw 5 heads every day, and minimum, right? That's not. It's at minimum 5 heads every day, until you draw 50 different heads, and ideally you learn something from every piece you draw. It's not just something to get through with. It's something that you reflect back and learn something. And this is something that Chris started with your students as a way of teaching them, and just basically as a way to get them to practice and to put the pencil on the paper, basically, right? And
Yeah.
what do you call it? What do you call it? There's a thing you call it.
Like a 50 heads drawing challenge.
No. Oh, I guess it's your alias on
Oh, draw juice.
Yeah, Georgius. Yeah,
gotta have
Georgius'
the
50 head
juice,
drawing
man.
challenge.
You gotta have the juice.
You gotta have the powers. You gotta have.
You
And
need
it doesn't
the.
have to be realistic. It can be any style that you like, but ideally you focus on what you learned and do something that you enjoy and can take something away from. And today, Chris was messaging me. It's like, hey, you want to do a few drawings on stream today? I'm just like, yeah, whatever. Like, what else am I doing? So it's like, okay. And
Yeah. Well, thanks for being available to do this.
No, I'm always I can stream whenever, so it's not a big deal. So if you guys want to draw, to join the challenge, do it. You might not be able to do the live join on stream with me like this way, because there'll be way too many of you. But if you do a join, either send it to my email or tag me on Instagram, or if you're one of my patrons or Chris' students, obviously, just somehow find a way to get a join to us, and I might do a demonstration at the end of the period stream or whatever, and I'll show some of your drawings.
I have a hashtag. Can I share it?
Huh?
I have a hashtag. Can I share it?
Okay, it's called Can I Share It?
The hashtag 50 juice.
50,
Heads.
oh yeah, yeah, oh yeah. I thought your hashtag is Can I Share It? I'm like, that's an interesting hashtag. But yeah,
Yeah.
50.
Juice heads.
50.
Hashtag your work there, and then we can find it easy.
Yeah. Do hashtag is a hashtag 50 juice.
Yeah, juice
So
heads.
like orange juice. Okay. So hashtag 50 juice. If we find it, we might do that. We might even do like a critique session or something. Whatever we want to do, and whatever you guys want to see. Just leave a comment in later or what. Let us know. Let us know. You have an artist here with 50 years of experience. That doesn't happen often, guys. So take advantage of it while you still can.
Yeah. I'm Kim Jong-gi is just afraid of me. He's dodging. Totally dodging.
Kim Jong. Wait, Kim Jong-un. Kim Jong.
Yeah. Kim Jong-gi, man. We're gonna have to meet. Throw down.
Throw down. I don't know if that guy knows how to draw. I don't think. Although he'll hire somebody who looks like him, he'll not hire somebody. He'll just get somebody who looks like him and who draw it with.
You know who I'm talking about, right?
Yeah. That guy is the Korean guy. That he's amazing. He's amazing.
Yeah.
He's off the chart. He just do stuff off his head, and he can draw anything, right? He can draw anything.
Yeah. Kind of makes you want to just throw down, man.
You can't throw down with him. Nobody throw down with him. No, nobody. Because he does it really fast. The thing is, he does it so fast, and he been doing it. He's like you, but I don't know if he ever worked at a professional environment, but he just been drawing just scribbles for 50 years. I mean, that's a lot of chi built up, that's a lot of...
Yeah. You said he filled a closet of sketchbooks, full of sketchbooks.
Like, those probably going to be worth a lot. I don't know, unfortunately, it's going to be worth more after he passed away, but that's just how... But, yeah.
Yeah, stuff's so amazing, so pretty, too.
He does so, like, yeah, it's like a collage, it's like crazy of stuff, but, yeah.
That's another thing. You can block things in, like very academic, or you can go direct drawing.
Yeah, I do a lot of direct drawing early days on YouTube, where because people want to see they want to see like an eye or something that looks alive immediately, because people's attention span is like 5 seconds. Well, actually on YouTube it says if you can capture somebody's attention in the first 3 to 5 seconds, they're gone. They already clicked away. They're gone.
Yeah.
That's why you can't. That's why people. It's like.
Do you know this guy? There's a guy named Stevie T, and he does guitar stuff.
Yeah.
And he acts like Jim Carrey,
But he does good stuff, and he's very popular right now.
Yeah, he's really good at guitar.
Yeah.
To help. But he acts so. I mean, you gotta act. You gotta get people's
That's
attention.
his niche. He found a way that works for him, and he just doubled down on it. Yeah.
Yeah. I do think he's funny. He's really special. He does a lot of editing too, like.
I'm sure. No. Yeah, those videos that look simple, like there's hours and hours of work behind the scene.
Yeah, he's like playing all the musicians on stage.
Sure. Sure.
Putting on gigs and playing all the parts, and he's pretty. I mean, yeah, a lot of work, a lot of creativity.
It's a lot of work. Yeah.
So with your channel, like how are ways that you think you might take it?
How?
Mm-hmm. Directions.
What direction? You know what? YouTube, I really don't know. I kind of want to just freestyle with it, just see what happens, because I was naive at one point, and when Google was saying, hey, we just want to promote quality videos, I actually believe them. but the truth is, what they really want to do is, we want to create videos that has the most eyeballs on the videos for the longest time. They don't give a crap about content as long as it's not too, extreme. That's why, like, whenever I see, because I know this stuff, whenever I see people say, please sum up my video, I'm just like, sum up and thumb down, it's the same thing. Like, there was at a time, you can go to Google's FAQ page, they'll literally say on the page, the thumbs up and thumbs down are the same thing. They're all recorded as a engagement. So thumb up, thumb down, a comment, those are all engagement. That's why you see all these videos with millions of views, but have like 70%, thumb up and 30% thumb down, because it doesn't matter. Because as long as people are watching them, YouTube will promote it as long as advertising friendly. So it's like, do I make the video that I know ultimately be good, but then, or do I make videos that plays the YouTube game? But that's also the problem. You would have been easy to choose if I was a billionaire, but you got to. Time is limited, so you got to have the audience. So it's like, that's why there's very, very few, relatively speaking, compared to any other genre like gaming, makeup, whatever, right? Compared to any other genre, there's very, very few like really good art channels on YouTube. Almost none. Like, cause it's like, those doesn't work.
Do you know Andrew Tischler?
No, who that?
He's doing landscape stuff. He's in New Zealand.
Oh, so he does like does he have like a Bob Ross kind of quality to his landscape?
No, he's totally realistic. He's awesome.
Okay.
You should check him out, Andrew Tischler.
Okay, I'll find out the link later. Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of want to do something slightly educational. Let me see what I can do.
Yeah, well, you're already sort of, you do that.
I do that, but I don't do. I mean, I have a. That's why I started a whole Patreon thing, because that would allow me to do more educational geared stuff, but it's not up to me. So, all right, this one, since I did a few drawing already, and that's already probably like I did at least 4 heads. So this one will be slightly educational on this side, while Chris is doing his stuff on his side. And this will be the basic plans of the face.
Okay.
And if you want to add something, feel free to do that anytime. I'll use an ink pen and a charcoal to show you guys. So one of the most common view of the face is the quarter view, but you see what I mean in 2 seconds. I'm just gonna start drawing it, and I'm trying to use at least amount of curved lines as I can, so that you'll see everything else made out of just blocky shapes, so you can kind of understand what's going on. Time is it? Okay, it's not too bad. Let me see how I should approach this.
Have you heard of this girl, Aliza?
Last name?
On Instagram, she's Aliza.
Oh, then probably no then. What's going on?
She's just an amazing drawer.
Okay, well send me the link later and I'll check it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's so many so many great artists out there. 3/4 view. So it'd be like something. So if you want to look at the forehead generally doesn't have that much curve. So I'll start with the forehead. I'll do something really weird. Did I leave enough space? If I don't have enough space, I'll just go into my other paper. I don't know necessarily every part's medical name, but you guys should be able to pick up and understand how the planes work, because this is important. And here is the top of the head. This is very like Bridgman's.
Yeah, go, baby.
Yeah. I said I will use least amount of curve, but this part here I have to use curves. See, that's top of the head, and just by the lines you should be able to understand kind of three-dimensionally. It's what I would say is a clay, like almost like you're building something with clay. To understand something from a three-dimensional point of view. And there are a few different methods and different forms of conveying this kind of stuff, but this is kind of stuff that you really need to understand if you are ever want to do conceptual art and so on. Especially if you want to work at an animation studio and work with 3D artists also, because it's all a big team.
Yeah, you have to be able to describe and solve these visual problems, you know?
Yep.
So you got your fundamentals like that.
So basically if somebody who can build something in 3D, if they cannot look at what your thing is and understand it exactly what it is, then something is wrong, you know? So yeah.
It won't animate properly, you know?
Yeah.
So there's all these other considerations for concept artists to think about.
Yeah.
And Feng Zhu will say, well, it's not really art what I'm doing. It's not art. It's this kind of like
It's
visual
kind of
problem solving.
like a process of converting. This looks like the guy from Fantastic Four, the rock guy from Fantastic Four, but I'm just. But I'm trying to make little squares, as many little squares as. See all these little planes? See, this part here is a little plane that goes a little bit upward as you come to the lips. And that means bottom of the lips.
It's like the Asaro head. You know John Asaro?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just probably a whole bunch of ideas that going through this, yeah. And the other eye is like similar, like in the way. But you guys can see how I break the face down into like a series of planes. I mean, this is slightly more detailed than you necessarily need to do every single time. But you gotta understand every single one of these are just planes on the face. And let's say I'll go. Even the neck, it can get pretty involved. Especially if the neck is twisting one way or the other, and so on. So yeah, so something like that. You just you have to be able to understand the head from that kind of form. That's why I always say when you look at a reference image, um, you have that idea and in mind. So you never really just um, copy a 2D picture over directly. Sometimes you do, but most time you ideally you would use that as almost like a live model in front of you. Because if I was to color this in, your drawing looks great, by the way. Who is that? It looks like, you know, a Gandalf or looks like a wizard. If you just made the cover a little bit higher.
I'm old mate from Bulgaria.
Yeah. I want to do something like that. I don't know if we have time, but if you have time, I might do something like that. That's really cool. So once you have this, then you determine, okay, let's say where the lighting is gonna come from. Let me put this here. Put this. Okay. So if the lighting is gonna come from, let's say the lighting is gonna come directly this way onto this plane here. So that plane there will be obviously the brightest, right? So you would color since in like, so all these are shadow. Within shadow. So we can call this shadow mapping, whatever you want to call it. And then as you refine it, then you go into the detail of the planes of the shadows. Because some of them will receive more light than the others, and then you can start to play around with that. And if I do this, I'm going to simplify a lot of things now, but this part here is definitely in the shadow. The eye socket, the top part of the eye, it's pointing downward, so the light will not reach there. The only light that might reach there with a single light might be a rebound light from a surface, a very shiny surface, but that's a whole other story. So that's brightest value, and the darkest value is probably right here under his neck. And then all this will be medium, right? You create medium value. So this is a little bit darker. And there'll be several degrees of medium, different tones of medium. Like this patch here will be just ever so slightly darker than that one, and this one will be ever so slightly darker than that one.
Yeah, that's great training. Super
Yep.
great training.
Well, yeah, I would like to do, but stuff like this never work on YouTube. Will never, ever work on YouTube. So I probably do. I'll do probably more stuff like this maybe if I wanted to, like just for Patreon and so on. This part is dark. Again, remember it's not catching any light. Same thing with eyelids over here. Maybe I'll do that. So basically every part of this drawing should have some kind of tone on it. It might be very light, it might be very dark. This is light. And on this side, I'll just keep this light. See, the nose is fairly bright because nose are at the same plane angle as the light that's hitting the forehead. So that's relatively bright than everything else. And lips curls actually, sideways into the cheeks. So this part will be a little bit darker, and so on. So yeah, this is very rough, very rough. But it gives you guys an idea of construction of a head, understanding how light interact with the 3D object, and then just be able to draw stuff out of thin air, basically. And this is kind of stuff you need to. And then once you get more familiar with stuff like that, then you can go to, that left side is something you want to achieve later. But you gotta start with something like here. Okay, I want to draw some wizard too now. I'm maybe not a wizard, but what did you smudge that charcoal with?
The tortillon, the paper
No,
stump.
I mean, what is it? A willow charcoal or compressed charcoal? That was my question, I guess. That was my question.
Okay, so I have this powdered graphite.
Oh, you have those bag things.
I'm
Oh, I
just
mean, or
dipping-
powder graphite or whatever. Yeah, I just use my my dirty tortillon, the one the self-made that was like really really soft. So it does the same. It accomplishes the same thing basically.
Yeah,
Oh God, think about it.
the real time saver covers ground really fast.
Yeah, yeah. My favorite is just to establish the midtone first, and then, I just. But obviously depend on the drawing and so on.
Yeah. But that's the way Kim Jung-gi does it, like what you're saying. He's internalized what you did, and he's internalized the box
Yeah,
and
yeah,
perspective, and he just kind of does that. He's got that in his mind.
exactly. All right. So let's see if I can grab my. If I don't have my tortilla, I'll just do the blending method and whatever that works too. Where's my old dirty? Let's make this drawing. Well, you're almost done with yours, unfortunately. Though, like, I'll wait for you to finish that one, and we'll both do like one last drawing, and we'll call a day on this stream.
Yeah.
Yeah. You see what? You keep drawing yours. I'll just tell people about the. You see what? You see the way he shaded his nose. There's a little bit of a bright spot right above the nostrils. That's rebound light. That's very common. That's pretty much vast majority of drawings. You'll notice stuff like that. Bottom of the nose. You'll be a little bit lighter. You'll be dark, super dark, a little bit lighter, and then you'll go up more in value again. There'll be a dark line here, cause our nose is it's like a ball on the tip, and just like a ball, that's sitting on the ground. Let's say this here, right? The main light comes across like this, and hits that. And you think this will be the brightest part, and as it goes out, it gets darker and darker and darker and darker. But that's not necessarily the case. The darkest part of the ball is actually roughly around this part here. Everything else is going to be that light is going to hit the surface the ball is on, and it's going to rebound back up. And it's going to create this little like line of an area that is slightly lighter than anything else. So the idea of using blocks, if that helps you, just basically turning the complicated shapes of the human body into simplified geometric shapes helps a lot in understanding them, understanding how light interacting with them. And Mark, I just got clickbaited into this. Well, although the picture was fake, the picture was I forgot to change it, but the content, the title is real. Anyway, so if you change what you see into this simple, or think about them into these simple geometric shapes, it will make a lot of your jobs a lot easier. And another thing is to look at the large picture first. That's a common, a very effective method for beginners, and make sure the value on that is correct. So if I look at this girl, right, if I turn her whole head into something like, like something like that, and then if you make sure the lighting on that is correct, and then go inside and play with the details, and then you will be able to create a much more overall precise drawing, and you will not fall into prey of optical illusion, which a lot of beginners fall into, which means they get the value wrong because they compare the value to the surroundings instead of to the picture as a whole. Alright, I'm waiting for you to finish so I can do this last drawing with you, and then we just call it a day.
Okay, I'm done.
Alright, good. Let's do this. Let's
Okay.
do this. I have to think about it. God, I want to. People need something happy, so I gotta draw a girl crying, right? That's got.
Go cry.
Gotta draw a girl crying.
Don't do it.
I'll make her expression ambiguous, so people see whatever is reflected within their own hearts. How's that? You know.
Yeah.
If you're a happy person, you'll see happy picture. She will seem like she's smiling. If you're not, you know, she's you'll see whatever you want to see. It's like one of the ink blocks.
You're a true artist.
You gotta, if you keep the thing neutral just at the right point, you know. I don't think I can. I'm gonna do things very similar to the way you do. Just like, oh, I should have said this is also the way I do it too. But you know, like, but certain methods, there's reasons they're popular because they are, you know, efficient. They're good. They have a lot of advantages that I can spend time to explain next time maybe.
Yeah. It's like, I like the idea that something's emerging off the thing.
From the mist.
From the thing, right.
That's the way I like to think about it. Or it's like almost like if your eyesight is bad and you switch to a clearer and clearer glass, you know, as it just gets better and better.
It's like when you're in the dark room, when you're...
You remember developing a photograph and it slowly comes out?
Yeah.
I don't think you gotta explain like to people who are like 20 years and younger. They might not know what a dark room is, you know.
The dark room is that a fear is that little dark room where negatives are developed.
Yes.
That's what a fear is.
Meanwhile, they're like, what?
How is he talking about?
What the hell is this guy talking about?
Why is he being so artistic?
And guys, if you enjoyed this stream, let your friends know. You know.
Yeah.
You know, this honest to like seriously speaking, honestly speaking, like our streams like this, it's worth like a lot more. It's worth a lot more. Like I live in New York City. I know like what they do in like studios and workshop seminars and stuff like that. Like it's just but people don't like. I hope everybody just like, you know, appreciate you being here and join with me, and we're gonna do this more, and realize that you're getting something that's a lot more valuable than watching some kid falling off a ladder and then hurt himself on YouTube and then start crying. Well, I don't know whatever it's popular on YouTube these days. I don't know.
I have a channel too.
The cat video is still up there. It's always up. It's always going to be up there. You know.
My channel is Draw Juice on YouTube.
Yeah.
Hey guys, you're still drawing.
Yeah, we drew like 5 heads already. We drew like 5 of them already, and we each of them we did. Hey, here, Alex, look, check out what I don't know if maybe at the end we'll show everybody to join again. I did this one first. And then I did this one. And then I did this one.
Uh-huh.
And then I did this one. And then I did this one. Just to show people about lighting and stuff like that. And now we're gonna do like one, I think with like one last one. But I don't have the right tools for it. I don't know. So I might have to change to something different. But that's nice about being an artist. Like at some point you can just use whatever. You can just use whatever. once you understand the principle, you can just switch to.
Yeah, you start to wing it. Start winging it. And
Yeah,
Well,
you
that's,
go,
that's what Xiaonan does anyway. He just wings it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you seen that video that because a lot of people was always asking me like what paper I'm using, and then I made a video that I drew on a pizza box. Have you seen that video?
no.
I did.
No, it's in my channel somewhere. It basically shows. I think the title is like what paper I'm using, and I just drew like a portrait on a pizza box. I mean the point is like. Wow, she looks like she's sleeping now, but I'm gonna open her eyes up. But the point is, paper is not nearly as important as what you guys think.
Has the skill, right?
Oh, yeah. I have a course called Creative Heads. It's on my DrawJuice website, drawjuice.com. And it's all about throwing down shapes and creating things out of thin air. And I kind of go through the basics of how to make a thing look 3D and put some lighting on it, doing it with value.
Correct.
And then I do a couple demos. But there's also, like, there's a backstory to support it. And that's kind of what you're talking about. You're talking about what you're thinking is more important than like your technique, What your intention is really important because it drives what you're doing, Like you said,
yes.
I'm gonna make this girl crying, or I'm gonna make her.
Right. Yeah. It's like I want to make her like this and that and so on.
Right. It makes people look at it because you put it in there,
That's one of the funny thing is like when I was drawing portraits, like subconsciously I find out like your emotions like affects how it comes out. Like when I was drawing Robin Williams, right before, like after he passed away, and I used a reference obviously, but in the reference he's smiling, right, and it was a happy picture, but then everybody's in the comment tells me that like part of his face looks sorrowful, looks like sad, like looks like a fake smile. I'm just like, wow, that's how I felt at the time, and I don't know how he made it in there, but he made it in there. So it's like a lot of things, the weird things start happen once you start to get comfortable enough that you don't think about the basic stuff anymore. You start thinking about what you really want to do, and kind of makes it kind of crazy with all like lines everywhere, but you're putting really heavy shadows there. I should do that too. It's easier. It's slightly easier for me to shade with the. This is the compressed charcoal. It's not good for what I'm trying to do right now, but.
You have a little bit.
I lost one of my the dirty tortillon that I used for the thing. That's the thing.
Hey, that's easy to do. Just take a napkin. Use the napkin.
Do I have a napkin? No, I don't have a napkin around here. That's all right. I'll make it work.
Did your parents want you to
dirty finger? Dirty finger. Use your
exactly,
dirty.
Exactly. I was gonna say. I'm just gonna use my hand.
Xiaonan, did your parents want you to be an artist?
Nah, my mom has both MD and PhD. My dad has PhD. My cousin is an airline pilot, so I'm the failure I'm the shame of the
failure.
family.
How do you define failure? No.
I'm the failure of my family. So.
Well, we welcome you.
Thanks. That means a lot.
Yeah, your failure helped me to develop my drawing skills, so it's good.
Yeah. I graduated business school, didn't do much with business because it's so boring to me, and I'm just like, all right. I cannot do anything with that anymore.
Chris, how long have you been drawing? All your life?
Yeah, pretty much. just
me, it was
happened. Like my dad was an artist, and I used to. He never taught me anything, but I used to go sneak and look at his sketchbooks, and then copy what he did, you
Ah,
know. And he was really good. He had that art touch, that hand. It was like, oh my God, But then he gave it up because he had a family, and he probably got scared, and he stopped doing it. He went to work for the telephone company, you know.
Oh, that's a loss. But that's different time. Yeah, I understand it. That was pre-internet, so yeah.
Well, if I had a family, I'd probably do the same thing, you know. There's
Yeah.
some,
Well,
I mean, I'd try to keep it alive, but if push came to shove, I'd be like, all right, it's it's your child's time now. It's not your time is over.
right, but if push comes to shove, if we can make art work, then
yeah, because for me it was the other way around. I started drawing when I turned 40, which was like 5
you
years
already have
ago.
like a full
So-
family.
So basically, and I have full family, yeah. So it was just the other way around. I wanted to find something to take my stress away from
Oh,
work. So
well,
it's a stress relief for me. It's the other way around.
okay.
No,
I
yeah,
see.
that's
Huh.
much better when you draw like we're not bound by a need to provide. Then you just draw for fun. Then yeah, it's a different.
But we're still trying to keep it alive. You know what I mean?
Oh, I'm trying to keep this life.
Yeah. See what I'm doing. I'm making crucial value distinction. That's what I'm doing. That's my job.
I wish I have a. Oh, never mind. I don't need that. Never mind. Don't need that.
Alright.
I was like, I wish I have. Nah, I'll just use my hands. I'll use whatever tools I can find around me.
You wanted to have a tortilla.
I can make one, but it's like no need.
Use your fingers.
I'm going to. I'm trying to decide how intense I want to make her stairs to be.
I'm on the chopping block.
At least you are copying Dion. I see beard right there.
You said when Dion draws beard, it's a female.
So who's your favorite artist?
My favorite, probably Rembrandt or Sargent. Although I
Yeah.
really like, it's such a cliche answer, but it's also true. But I really like enjoy like a lot of Monet too. But that's also a cliche answer. But that's true. That the thing is that it's like, I walk into a museum and I just from like miles away, I'll be able like, okay, that's a Monet right there on the wall over there in the corner, like, and I just drawn to it, and it
No pun intended, right?
yeah. or intended in this case. It doesn't matter. You can intend some puns sometimes.
I wouldn't put it past you.
But no. I like Sargent's line when they were asking him about drawing portrait, because he was very humble and he was like, drawing portraiture just means drawing something that there's always something wrong with the mouse. Like there's always something, because he
Yeah.
himself admits like that part is so like there's so many parts so difficult to draw, like that he would spend so long on it, but it came very naturally to him. Like I read his books and I saw a bunch of documentaries on him, and it's just yeah.
I did a recent master copy thing on Sargent
Yeah,
channel. Yeah,
you did.
and I used digital for it. To see if I
Cheater! Just kidding. I'm talking like
See if
Bob
I-
right now.
the traditional method, you know.
Yeah. That's what I do with digital too. I just don't know how to, I paint everything on like 1 or 2 layers. I just, even though there's a lot more shortcuts you can take, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was trying to like reach the people who were on lockdown, you know?
Did you reach any?
I did.
You did? Good.
I reached them.
you got them.
So let's see. I like Frazetta. I like Boris. I like.
Yeah,
I like.
those are all I all like. Like if you ask me the artists that I like, then we'll be here all night. You know what I mean? Yeah, yeah. They all like. There's too many of them. There's too many good ones.
Like for impressionism, I like Renoir as an example.
Yeah,
It's pretty interesting style. It's like all airy, like all this.
Well, Renoir, yeah. That dot thing. That's the. What's
Okay. Robert Hunt, Robert Heindel, Bart Forbes, Bernie Fuchs. These were like the golden age of illustration guys.
Mm-hmm.
And they had that tight but loose thing where things were like reflections in windows and stuff like that.
Right.
Kazuhiko Sano. And then Alla Prima, Richard Schmidt, right?
Alla Prima, yeah.
Richard Schmidt's badass.
Have you ever heard? Okay, since you've been in China, have you ever heard of this artist, Huang Zhou? Have you ever? Oh no, was it? Shit, what's his name?
Is he traditional kind of?
What? Yeah, traditional water, kind of like a watery, style, water paintings.
Not by name.
What about Qi Bai Shi?
Oh no. Qi Bai Shi. That's like 7 white something. 7 white form.
Yeah.
Because I went to this artist colony type of thing in Shanghai. I live near there, and it was like 768 or 7 something.
Yeah.
And it was a really cool place, man.
This was back when. This was like, I was wondering if the place still exists. Like.
The place I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it did. It does. You know why? Because I wanted to.
in your memory, in your imagination, it exists forever.
Yeah. What's happening with this?
See, this is what I'm talking about. Like, if you define form first, it looks interesting because you can see the form of the, almost like a sculpture. That's why I always try to get people to draw it that way. But it's hard to find the reference picture. Well, not hard, I guess. But to get them to see it, that way, and to draw it like a sculpture. And then do the details later, because everybody likes details early. Like this one, I started with detail a little bit early. It's a habit from making like stuff for social media. It's just one of those things.
It's kind of like how you experience eating a cupcake.
Okay, right.
You just pick it up, you smell it, and you put it in your mouth and you taste it, and that's one kind of experience that you have no idea what went into it, what ingredients, how long it took, what was the order of the ingredients. So it's not apparent to you any of that stuff, right? Until someone takes you in the kitchen and goes, well, here's what I did. I cracked some eggs. I did this. I put it in the oven. That's just like what it is when you look at anything, especially a human face. You get stuck with the details. It's part of the experience, you know?
Yeah. Don't. That's why I say don't stuck with the details first. You know, just get the large forms correct, and then you can play around with the details. That's what I always say.
That's exactly right. Because you start with your details, it's like frosting, right? It just falls off the cake if there's no good foundation.
Yeah. it's a frosting falls off the cake. Frosting is pretty sticky, but I know what you mean.
Yeah.
If there's no good foundation, that's true, of course.
Doesn't last long.
Damn, I wanted her to make. Now she looks angry. What the hell? Oh. Okay, neutral. I'll make the lips neutral.
So is anybody there?
Is there a story behind this old guy that you joined?
This guy?
Yeah, you gotta have a story. It's gotta have a story.
Is the guy?
Just the guy.
He's part of the sock people.
The sock people?
Yeah. They got old socks on their head. And then they're so they wear them, they never wash them, they just become part of the
He's a sock people.
yeah, becomes part of the skull. And
I like it, sock people.
People, you know, try to take it off of him.
I was about to say, does anybody ever try to steal like this from his socks? Like that's.
Well, it's caused some major sock wars.
Is this okay? Is this like a civil war? Are there raided by other sock people or other garments? Maybe there's like a hat people and they're like a shoe people. They're just like have these like internal battles with each other.
Absolutely. How'd you know?
Dude, we're both artists. That's why we have that. We're going to the artist realm and we communicate there. It's like...
What happened? and so basically, there was an eternal struggle, and it lasted a really long time, but it wasn't eternal literally, until the Woolite people came around. And
the what people? The what?
Woolite.
The Woolite, okay.
They helped the sock people clean their socks.
That's nice. I think I did that yesterday. My washing machine did the same thing for me. So, so I can relate completely. That's my point.
Totally.
So are you at your studio right now? Where you are? Like,
yeah.
How far is your studio from your place?
It's about 15 minutes, like 8 something miles, I guess.
Oh, okay. Why don't you just have like a why don't you just set up like a studio at home, like just like a room, so you can save on the rent costs and everything.
Too small.
Do you do large like oil paintings and stuff?
Not in
Well, if you get a large room, I would imagine like it might be enough. I don't know. Cause obviously digital art and this kind of drawings, that's more than enough space. unless yeah, and right now nobody goes to you, right? No student go to you, like so.
Sometimes. Yeah.
They do?
Yeah. Have people come in.
Man, this is why we need a test kit fast.
We look at each other, you know.
Do you guys stay 6 feet apart and just draw?
Well, not now. They don't come, right? But they before.
Before,
Okay.
yeah, okay.
Come on, I'm following the rules, dude.
Yeah.
Somebody. Sock people. They were great.
I try to make this join more. I think she's, yeah, her expression you can't really tell. She could be angry. She could be determined. She could be empty, sadness. Fair enough. That's what I wanted to do. That's what I wanted to do.
By the way, I don't know, Xiaonan, if you're watching, there's a chat as well a little bit.
Oh, no, I'm just listening to Chris' story. What's going on in the chat? Oh, what's going on, Phil? You quarantining yourself? He's one of my college friends. What's going on?
Is there still people watching?
Yeah.
Yeah, 30 people right now. So some watching. People are saying that it's like enjoying the stream. It's like by drug. Some black cat said.
Well,
Alright.
the things you gotta do if you do often enough, you create, you'll make you condition people to watch it more and more. That's the thing. Before YouTube screwed me over, right? And they cut it and basically made subscription useless, and then they had the algorithm that determined how good a video is, but they had that at a similar time as they made subscription useless. So suddenly YouTube's algorithm basically thinks my videos are all crap. So that's really. I mean, it's still going, but it's like that really sucks,
That's what they did to my channel then.
Because
Right,
I mean, because I help YouTube build, like, partly, like, I was the first ones that on YouTube. I was helping them build to where they are today. So I was grandfathered in. So a lot of my subscribers were from the olden days. But when the YouTube stopped sending out notifications, and they have the bot that looks at videos and judge how good it is, like, suddenly I have nobody receive my videos. So the bot sees a decline. And then it thinks, oh, this guy's video sucks. So it doesn't recommend to anybody. And then it's kind of like a vicious circle that I'm beginning to turn it around. But that's what annoys me. It's like, come on, man. I'm the one that help you guys. Like, I'm the first one that here that help you guys build your stuff.
Totally.
It's like, at least give me a warning, like, you can do that. Like,
Yeah.
because otherwise, I'll be able to reach a lot more people. I probably can just, get my Patreon, like, set up properly, and then I can probably just teach people drawing all day. But, oh well.
You still can, brother.
Well, actually, I still can right now, actually, but yeah, but it could be so much better. Could be so much better.
Power of the core shadow.
Core shadow, form shadow, and then you got cast shadow. You got to core shadow, same thing as form shadow, and cast shadow, like those stuff. You just got to. It's very easy. It's very easy, but.
Respect it like your nasolabial fold.
Exactly.
Respect your vanishing points.
2 vanishing points.
Younger.
Let's do the 2 vanishing points. Yeah.
Younger.
So Chris, that's so basically mechanical pencil is your preferred tool, or you're just in this kind of a.
No, he said charcoal before. Somebody already asked him that. He said charcoal.
Like I want to do the side of the pencil. Like I want this because this can't do that.
Yeah.
Picked up the tortillon to do that, but sometimes I just want to get a precise, chiseled look working on the shoulder of the pencil, and I'll do that. You know, so I kind of pick back up both tools.
But it's supposed to basically graphite.
Yeah, I
The
think
big
I just
no for Xiaonan. Okay.
yeah, this mono zero, this thing, whatever. You know, you can use the pan pastel too, like a tortilla.
Yeah.
Okay, I think I'm done.
Yeah, I haven't done too much color drawings lately. It just takes so much time. I just didn't do much color.
Yeah, I've done the oil painting. Man, that takes a lot of time.
Yeah.
But
I do it.
one of those.
I do
one
it
of
as a
those-
commission. Yeah.
Oh yeah. How's that commission going?
There's still stuff that I need to do. I just keep procrastinating a little bit more than I. I don't know. I've been procrastinating a lot of things.
It's a weird time, you know. Sometimes I feel like I just can't work. It's just too weird.
Oh, can I borrow 1 million? I would like to buy a house now. 1 million? Why you want to buy a house? Like next Central Park? Like apartment next Central Park? Like what? Actually, no. They screwed me. The coronavirus. Like I was gonna get another house, and Alex knows this. Like, but because of virus, they couldn't even show you houses and stuff. And just,
Right.
uh,
Thank God for my webcam and my little 4K $3,000 camera didn't do crap for me. Yeah.
but yeah, I don't know. It must be a setting there somewhere. Like, it's gotta be a setting somewhere.
All right, here's what I did. I did the blue woman.
Yeah, I love the way you use lines.
I did this dude. This macho aviator dude.
Macho. Wait, why aviator? His
I don't know,
lips.
he reminds me of
He's
that
puckered up his lips. It looks like
Yeah, he's a lipless
That reminds
dude.
me of the maiden from that show. The Netflix show. The Maiden.
Right, the girl with the pearl earring. Then there's this dude. This guy's like Dimash without Bergen. Do you know Dimash? He's
Yeah,
a
yeah,
singer. That's Dimash. I'm gonna send this to him. Say, Dimash, I love you. Please give me a like and a subscribe. I should type this right. Shape everything off, man. Finish it off.
Yeah, you treat the form very strongly. That's above all else. That's. Did I just knock something over? Never mind.
Ripping it up. Okay, there. Okay. Then I did this blue lady over here. There she is.
Those are cool. You should set up. Those are also, because they're relatively speaking simple. They go great on T-shirts and stuff. You could make a line of like merchandise and stuff.
Huh.
Yeah, YouTube have that. YouTube have that automatically integrated in, so you can sell merchandise right off.
Yeah, good idea.
Right off the thing. Yeah.
And then there's these guys that I kind of started before the stream, warming up.
Warming up. I didn't warm. I was not. I woke up. I woke up early, and then I went back to sleep, and I woke up at like 2. I'm like, shoot. Didn't I tell Chris that I need to do a stream with him today? Didn't I say that? Like, I'm just like.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, let me set things up. Just like.
I was like, I'm ready. He's like, okay, I'm making a late sandwich lunch. Then there was the wizard lady. Oh, yeah. 50 juice heads. Hashtag 50 juice heads to join in the 50 heads drawing challenge. It's going on from today till May 10, but you can start whenever you want. Okay. Over at.
It's kind of like what's that other challenge? The October line join? No, a join a day challenge or something like that. 30-day join something. I don't know. Something like that. I don't know.
And there was that.
I might, you know what? I might imitate your style next time. I'll do one like this, like you know, just purely off form, and I'll just do one like that. Cause that's, I really like that style too. I'm just gonna.
Which one?
All your styles are like the way you, just focus on mostly on lines and not details too much. Just forms, shapes, lines, the meaningful shadows, put them down, and everything else just lines, described lines. It's like a combination, you know. Yeah.
I'm just building.
But you know what?
House.
Last one reminds me of do you know artist named Harry Yen or something like that?
Man.
It reminds me a lot of his of his work.
Xiaonan rule. Yeah.
It reminds me a lot of his work. The way he does the lines, it's almost like exactly, it's almost uncanny, similar.
It's like it's developing out of the mist. You can't tell where he touched it, kind of. You know. I want to show you these watercolor kind of floaty, abstract images that you.
No, those are cool. Like
put a face into it.
Those are just watercolor, right?
Yeah. Watercolor on this clay board, which is very slippery.
Yeah, clay board is very. Is that Lady Gaga?
You can play. No.
It looks like a little bit like Lady Gaga.
A little bit, yeah.
But you can play a lot around with watercolor. It's so hard to use watercolor properly too. It's so difficult.
Yeah, this you can play with for hours because it never absorbs in.
You just keep right, because you can just keep moving around. Yeah.
Your guy Alan Williams on Instagram, he taught me that, or he didn't teach it to me, but he uses that with graphite, and it gets super detailed, realistic.
Wait. He used graphite on those? Oh yeah. Okay.
I use powder graphite, eraser.
Oh, you just move it around because it doesn't stick per se.
Right. And then use these Clorox sponge things that you cut them into shapes, and you can retrieve the white of the board.
Yeah.
Because it sort of like leaches the graphite back out, and that's pretty cool stuff.
That one I liked. I like the how the lighting effect.
Yeah, it's like a frame within a frame. So you have this frame here,
exactly,
and you have the negative space, and then you have a frame in there.
That's
smaller.
Yeah. That's a really cool design. Cause also where the lighting cut off on top of her head, like it really shows me like I can almost like feel like the size of the window and everything.
Yeah. God. My hand is so dirty. My dirty hands.
Charcoal. Well, luckily today I'm using this.
I
Today I'm using a glove. Otherwise,
graphite.
my hand would be just like.
Oh, you're a cheater.
Well, no. I burned my hand on the dishwasher the other day, so just a little bit. So I'm just using this to protect a little bit. So. Yeah, but no, like if you want to clean though, although if you want to keep things clean, I would say graphite. That's about the one thing that I would say. Graphite can keep things a lot cleaner, you know.
Yeah.
Do you have any more artwork? If you have more artwork, show more artworks and stuff.
Basically,
Basically, you probably have a crap ton of too.
yeah, here's like I told you, I have that course called Creative Heads,
Yeah.
and you kind of slam down some random shapes, and then you pull faces out of it.
Yeah, it's like looking at the cloud. That's a great part is too. It's like looking at the clouds. You know, you can see just like shapes and animals and whatever you want to see.
So there's some different.
It'd be really cool if you can see the original shape. You know, if you see, you should have filmed. Imagine if you filmed all that process in video form, and just
Well,
just
yeah, I videotaped the whole process in the
Oh,
course.
you did? Put that.
Yeah, so
put that on YouTube, man. Put that on YouTube.
No, it's in my course, man.
Oh, it's of course.
Yeah, so I put down random marks, and then I just pulled out. I saw things inside of it, and just tried to, do it.
Yeah.
What's this?
That's one crazy mask. Like that.
That's wacky. It's wacky. And here's like this. I don't know if you can see that.
That's digital, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
That's digital conceptual art design. Yeah.
right.
How long roughly takes to do that one? I wouldn't, because.
Well, this one I took a class with a guy named Anthony Jones,
Yeah.
and it was concept art course,
Yeah.
and it took me a lot of iterations, a lot of thumbnails,
I
like
know.
each week.
I know. That's one thing about those kind of digital art. Like I might do one of these days. It just takes so long too, because you gotta keep tweaking. And you're never happy with it. You just keep tweaking forever about it.
Right. Yeah. This painting is on my YouTube channel. It's like a hyperlapse of the whole way through.
Yeah, it would be a hyperlapse.
Yeah,
I
because
can
it took
imagine.
a long.
I can imagine how long that would take. Like,
Took a long time.
I mean, there's a few like decent digital artists in China, but digital art is just it's different. There's like, hey, you heard of Yuanjia?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's one of the few. He and a few other guys started a pretty decent school doing digital art. It's just like.
Well, when I worked in China, because I worked in Shanghai.
Yeah.
And as an art director and concept artist, and there were some amazing artists. I was blown away. I was like, oh, okay, this is getting scary,
It's getting scary.
Because it's like China is coming of age, and they can do anything that anybody else could do. Plus, they have 1 billion people, so the talent pool is big.
No. There's a saying in China. It's like, if you are one in a million, just remember there are thousands of guys just like you, thousands of people just like you.
Yeah.
It's supposed to humble people, but it's like whoa.
So they did. They had like these. They picked from this big talent pool of young artists, and they knew their shit because they were taking traditional training in China that comes from Russia.
Yeah, I was about to say Russia. They get sponsorship to go to Russia, to go there and to train there and come back.
Yeah. And meanwhile, here we're not teaching good foundation.
No. This is in the United States. You this is what you do. You tape a banana to a wall and you sell for $100,000.
Right.
So and I know people who went to art school here and they just like they don't learn anything of the fundamentals of the basics. So
Yeah.
they graduate with a degree and a piece of paper, but really it's about connection. Other than that, they don't really, in terms of purely artistically, they don't really have any like solid stick skill to I don't know.
Yeah.
It's kind
I
of
mean,
sad.
unless you're a concept artist, the concept artists learn the real traditional foundational
Well,
stuff.
that's because they have. Yeah, that's because they have to.
Yeah, but it's the stuff that Rembrandt used to learn, and
Yeah.
at the ateliers, you know, all those guys were trained seriously in the fundamentals.
Yep.
Where did you go to school?
I'm self-taught. I never go to any. In terms of art, I assume you mean art. Like, yeah, I'm self-taught.
Yeah.
I just started drawing. I just felt like running. I just felt like drawing one day.
Really?
Yeah,
Just one day?
just one day. One
When
sunny
was
day. After I
when was that?
graduated. So, you
How many years ago?
know, 10 something years ago.
1,000.
No, just 10. Just wish I can live that long, but 10 years ago.
That's cool.
But
I
then,
think
but when I
I'm
teach
done.
huh? What you say?
I'm done.
Yeah, I mean, art. It's like whenever you feel like you're done, it's done. That's the thing. That's nice about art. It's like it's never done or it's always done. Like pick one. Pick one that make you less sane, you know, or more sane. You know, it's never done or it's always done. It's like
I have to go to my next thing.
okay.
Man, it was such a great time to be with
Okay,
you.
so thanks a lot for joining me on this stream.
Yeah, thanks for
I need-
having me. Really appreciate it.
I need to finish this right now. Yeah, no, it was great to have you here. Now, we'll be doing this more in the future, I'm sure.
Yeah,
So-
I'd like to invite you to my channel too. We could do this. I'll head it up.
Sure. Yeah. You can. Well, yeah. I have your channel and all your stuff on the screen. I think so people can just see it and just.
Okay.
Yeah, it's on the stream screen so people can just see it.
Oh yeah, cool. Thank you so much.
Yeah, no problem. No problem.
Beautiful.
No problem.
All right, man.
All
Stay
right.
safe.
So
all
thank
that
you.
stuff.
Thank you. Yeah. We'll talk more. We'll stream more. All right. Have a good day, Chris.
Okay, Xiaonan.
All right.
再见. Talk to you later.
Later.